Welcome to Coins History. Today, we're diving into the most valuable Kennedy half-dollar coins in the United States, rare coins that could be worth a small fortune. Did you know some Kennedy half-dollars from the 1960s can sell for thousands of dollars? Stay tuned, because we're revealing the rarest coins collectors are hunting for. Thanks so much for watching. If you love this dive into rare coins, hit that subscribe button and join our Coins History family. See you in the next treasure hunt. Coin 1. From today, stop believing that wealth only lives inside giant houses, luxury cars, or expensive lifestyles. Sometimes real value hides in something so small that people overlook it every single day. A simple coin. A forgotten half-dollar. A piece of American history sitting quietly, waiting for the right person to notice its power. Today, we are talking about one such coin that many people have already touched, spent, or ignored without realizing what they had in their hands. The United States of America Kennedy half-dollar from 1971 with the D mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary. It doesn't sparkle like gold. It doesn't shout rarity. But that is exactly why it is dangerous to underestimate. This coin comes from a powerful moment in American history. The Kennedy half-dollar was created to honor President John F. Kennedy, a symbol of hope, leadership, and loss. By 1971, the coin had already become familiar to the public, which caused people to stop paying attention to it. And when people stop caring, rarity begins to grow quietly. This year is especially important because it represents a major change. Silver was no longer part of the coin's composition. It became copper-nickel clad, which made people believe it had no future value. Millions were released into circulation. They were used in daily transactions, dropped into pockets, scratched in cash registers, and worn down over time. Because of this heavy use, finding one today in strong condition is already a challenge. Now comes the part collectors listen to very carefully. Errors. This is where ordinary coins become extraordinary. Some 1971 D Kennedy half-dollars were struck with double dies, creating visible doubling in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or even the date. Others show off-center strikes, where Kennedy's portrait is slightly shifted, making the coin instantly eye-catching. There are clipped planchets, where part of the coin is missing due to a mint-cutting error. Some display dramatic die cracks, raised metal lines caused by damaged dies that turn each coin into a one-of-a-kind piece. These are not damages made after leaving the mint. These are mint errors, and collectors chase them relentlessly. Condition multiplies everything. A coin with sharp details, full hair lines, strong luster, and clean surfaces becomes far more desirable. Combine that condition with a clear mint error, and the value increases dramatically. Most people never check closely. Coin lovers do. That is why knowledge is power in this hobby. This coin is exciting because it proves that rarity doesn't always come from age or precious metal. Sometimes it comes from mistakes, survival, and neglect. That idea keeps collectors searching through rolls. Coin 2. From today, stop believing that real wealth only lives inside massive houses, luxury cars, or things that shine loudly. Sometimes true value hides quietly in something so common that people pass it down, spend it, or forget it without a second thought. Today, I'm about to take you into the world of a coin that looks ordinary, feels ordinary, yet can be extraordinary in the right hands. This is the United States of America Kennedy half-dollar from 1972 with the D mint mark, a coin many people own but very few truly understand. Imagine this coin sitting inside an old drawer, a coin jar, or a family collection. It doesn't scream rare. It doesn't look expensive. But history has a strange way of rewarding patience and attention. By 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar had already become a national symbol, honoring President John F. Kennedy. People were familiar with it, comfortable with it, and that comfort created carelessness. And carelessness is where rarity begins to grow. This coin was produced during a time when silver was already removed from circulation strikes. Because it was copper-nickel clad, most people believed it had no long-term value. Millions were released and spent heavily. They were stacked in banks, dropped into registers, and worn down in everyday use. As a result, finding a well-preserved example today is far more difficult than people think. Now listen carefully, collectors. The real excitement comes from mint errors. Some 1972 D. Kennedy half dollars were struck with double die errors, showing noticeable doubling in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or parts of Kennedy's profile. Others were struck off-center, giving the coin an unusual and dramatic appearance. There are clipped planchets where a portion of the metal is missing due to a mint cutting error. Die cracks and die chips can appear as raised lines or extra metal, making each coin visually unique. These are mint-made mistakes, not damage, and they are the reason collectors pay close attention to this year and mint mark. Condition is everything. Most examples are dull, scratched, and worn. But a coin with sharp details, clean fields, strong luster, and no heavy marks stands out immediately. Combine high condition with a clear mint error, and you enter a completely different level of collectability. This is why coin lovers search rolls, estates, and inherited collections with such passion. This coin teaches a powerful lesson. Rarity doesn't always come from gold or age. Sometimes it comes from survival, mistakes, and the simple fact that nobody cared enough to protect it at the time. That mystery is what makes this hobby addictive and rewarding. Before you ever ignore a Kennedy half dollar again, slow down. Look closely at the date. Look for the D mint mark. Study every detail. Because something small can still carry a big story and even bigger potential. In today's real market, a circulated example is worth face value. A high-grade uncirculated example can be worth several tens of dollars. Error coins have sold for several hundreds of dollars, and exceptional error examples in top condition have reached prices in the thousands of dollars at auction. If you enjoyed this journey into hidden coin value, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. More rare coins, real market values, and collector secrets are coming, and you never know what treasure is already waiting in your own collection. Coin 3. Forget big houses. Forget luxury cars. Forget everything you think defines wealth, because today I'm about to show you how something smaller than your thumb can quietly outperform all of it. A single coin. A forgotten half dollar. A piece of American history that most people ignore, yet serious collectors hunt relentlessly. From today, your eyes should never pass over a Kennedy half dollar the same way again, especially when the date reads 1973. This coin doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't shine like silver. It doesn't look rare at first glance. And that is exactly why it is dangerous to underestimate. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar was struck during a strange and overlooked moment in U.S. coin history. By this time, half dollars were vanishing from daily use. Stores stopped accepting them easily, banks stopped ordering them in bulk, and the public slowly forgot about them. That disappearance created quiet scarcity. Here's what makes this year special. Most Kennedy half dollars from 1973 were not released for normal circulation. They were mainly produced for official mint sets. That means the average person almost never saw one in their pocket. So when you find a circulated example today, it's already unusual. When you find one in strong condition outside a mint set, collectors take notice. Now listen carefully, because this is where value can explode. Errors. Some 1973 Kennedy half dollars show doubled lettering in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date. Others were struck off-center, shifting Kennedy's portrait and instantly grabbing attention. There are die cracks that leave raised lines across the surface, die chips that create extra metal where it shouldn't exist, and weak strikes where details fail to fully form. These are not damage from use. These are mint-made mistakes, and collectors love them because no two error coins are ever exactly the same. Condition is everything. Most examples are dull, scratched, and lifeless. But a coin with sharp hair detail, clean fields, strong original luster, and no major marks becomes something special. Combine that with a visible mint error, and the coin moves from ordinary to highly collectible. This is why coin lovers examine every half dollar slowly, under light, with patience and respect. This coin proves a powerful lesson. Rarity doesn't always come from age or precious metal. Sometimes it comes from low circulation, forgotten years, and mistakes that slipped through unnoticed. That mystery is what keeps collectors searching, roll after roll, collection after collection. So before you dismiss a Kennedy $50 again, stop. Look at the date. Turn it in the light. Because the smallest detail can change everything. In today's real market, a normal example is worth face value. A well-preserved uncirculated example can be worth several tens of dollars. Error coins have sold for several hundreds of dollars, and rare high-grade error examples have reached values in the thousands of dollars at auction. If this video made you think differently, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. More rare coins, real values, and hidden collector secrets are coming, and you don't want to miss what could already be hiding in your own collection. Coin 4. Forget mansions. Forget supercars. Forget everything people show online to prove they are rich, because today I'm about to tell you a truth most people will never believe. Real value can hide in something so small, so ordinary, that it gets ignored, spent, or pushed aside without a second thought. A single coin. A $50. A piece of American history that looks common but can become unforgettable when you truly understand it. From today, you will never look at a Kennedy $50 the same way again, especially when the date reads 1977. The 1977 Kennedy $50 was born in a quiet era of U.S. coinage. By this time, $50 were no longer part of everyday life. Stores rarely used them. Banks stopped pushing them. Most people didn't want them in their pockets. And when people stop caring, something powerful happens in the world of collecting. Survival becomes rarity. This coin was struck in large numbers, but almost none were respected. They were tossed into bags, stacked in vaults, and forgotten. Many were poorly struck, showing weak details, flat hair, and dull surfaces. Because of this, finding a truly sharp, well-struck 1977 Kennedy $50 today is far harder than most people imagine. Collectors don't just look at the date. They study the strike, the luster, the balance of the design, and the smallest imperfections. Now comes the part that turns an ordinary coin into a collector obsession. Mint errors. Some 1977 Kennedy $50 show doubled lettering, especially in Liberty or the date. Others were struck off-center, shifting the portrait and creating dramatic visual impact. Die cracks appear on a small number of coins, forming raised lines that make each piece unique. There are die chips that add extra metal where it shouldn't exist, and weak strikes where the mint failed to fully press the design. These are not damages from circulation. These are mistakes made at the mint, and collectors hunt them aggressively. Condition changes everything. Most examples are dull, marked, and lifeless. But a coin with clean fields, strong original luster, sharp hair detail, and no heavy marks instantly separates itself from the crowd. When that level of condition meets a visible mint error, the coin steps into a completely different level of desirability. This is why experienced coin lovers examine even the most ordinary-looking $50 with patience and curiosity. The 1977 Kennedy $50 teaches an important lesson. Rarity is not always about silver or age. Sometimes it's about neglect, weak production, and the few survivors that escaped in exceptional form. That mystery keeps collectors searching through rolls, old collections, and estate finds every single day. So before you ignore another $50, stop. Hold it under the light. Look closely at the details. Because what seems common today could be the coin collectors are chasing tomorrow. In today's real market, a normal circulated example is worth face value. A high-quality uncirculated example can be worth several tens of dollars. Error coins have sold for several hundreds of dollars, and rare, high-grade error examples have reached values in the thousands of dollars at auction. If this video made you see coins differently, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. More rare coins, real market values, and collector secrets are coming, and you don't want to miss what hidden treasure might already be in your collection. Coin 5. Forget mansions. Forget luxury cars. Forget everything people use to show off their wealth online, because today I'm about to show you a kind of treasure that doesn't fit in a driveway or a safe room, it fits in the palm of your hand. From today, think differently about wealth, because a single coin, a small piece of metal, can hold more power and mystery than any car or house you've ever seen. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that many people overlook, the United States of America Kennedy half-dollar from 1994 with the D Mint mark. If you've ever passed a half-dollar without a second thought, pay attention. What you think is ordinary could be extraordinary. At first glance, the 1994 D Kennedy half-dollar looks like an everyday coin. It doesn't shine like silver, it doesn't scream rarity, and most people think it's just another piece of pocket change. That assumption is exactly what makes it so interesting for collectors today. By the 1990s, half-dollars had almost vanished from daily use. Stores refused to accept them easily, banks didn't distribute them widely, and the average person rarely carried them. Most were produced and placed into rolls or collector sets, untouched and unappreciated. That's where scarcity quietly began to form. The coins existed, but most were neglected and forgotten, and history has a way of rewarding patience. Now, here's where the story gets truly fascinating. Not every 1994 D Kennedy half-dollar is created equal. Some carry mint errors that transform them from ordinary to highly sought-after collector pieces. Pay attention to double dies, especially in the words Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and even in the date. These small but visible mistakes give the coin a unique look and instantly catch the eye of anyone who knows what to look for. Others were struck off-center, shifting Kennedy's portrait and creating a dramatic, almost surreal effect that makes the coin stand out in any collection. There are also die cracks, which appear as raised lines across the surface, and die chips that create extra lumps of metal in unusual places. Even slight planchet and strike irregularities can turn a simple coin into a rare treasure. Each error is a story of what went wrong, or uniquely right, inside the mint. These mistakes are not post-mint damage. They are accidents made during production that give the coin historical and monetary value today. Condition is another factor that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Most 1994 D Kennedy half-dollars you will see have flat details, dull surfaces, or scratches. They were handled, stored improperly, or simply passed around. But a coin with sharp hairlines, clean surfaces, strong original luster, and no bag mark stands out immediately. Combine that high-grade condition with a visible mint error, and you move into a different tier of collectability entirely. This is why experienced coin lovers don't rush. They inspect every coin under proper lighting, often with magnification, because the smallest detail can change the coin's value dramatically. One missed double die or off-center strike could be the difference between face value change and a rare collector's item. The 1994 D Kennedy half-dollar teaches a powerful lesson about what makes a coin truly special. Rarity isn't always about precious metal or age. It comes from scarcity, condition, and the small mistakes that slip past the mint. Neglected coins, produced in a transitional period when half-dollars were becoming less common in circulation, can suddenly become the most exciting finds for collectors. That quiet potential is what keeps enthusiasts searching through old coin rolls, forgotten bank bags, and family collections. The thrill of discovering a coin that others overlooked is priceless. Every detail matters, and the 1994 D is a perfect example of why collectors study coins for hours, examining every surface, every letter, and every mark. Collectors love this coin not just for its rarity, but because it embodies history, subtle beauty, and the thrill of the hunt. Holding a well-preserved 1994 D Kennedy half-dollar is like holding a piece of a story, a piece of a time when these coins were slipping quietly out of circulation, unnoticed by most of the public. It's a reminder that extraordinary things don't always make noise, they survive quietly, waiting for the right eyes to appreciate them. This coin, ordinary at first glance, rewards patience, knowledge, and careful attention. And that's why serious collectors never stop looking. Before you ever toss another half-dollar aside, stop. Check the date. Look for the D Mint mark. Study every line, every letter, every angle. Because one small difference could turn something ordinary into a coin that collectors will fight to own. You might already own a coin that's worth more than you think, quietly sitting in a jar or drawer, waiting for someone to notice its value. In today's real market, a circulated 1994 D. Kennedy half dollar is usually worth only its face value. A high-grade uncirculated example can sell for several tens of dollars. Error coins, depending on the severity and visibility of the mistake, have sold at auction for several hundreds of dollars. The rarest, high-grade error examples, those with double dies, off-center strikes, or dramatic die cracks, have reached prices in the thousands of dollars at auction, making them a serious contender for any collector's portfolio. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden world of coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More rare coins, real market values, and secrets that collectors treasure are coming soon, and you never know which coin in your own collection could be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Don't miss out, your next treasure might already be in your pocket. If you want, I can also expand this script further into a full-length, highly engaging 45,000 character version, with even more historical context, detailed explanation of every error type, and collector tips, structured so people will stay glued to your video for the entire time. Do you want me to do that? Coin 6. Stop everything. Forget the sprawling mansions, the luxury cars, the designer everything you see online, because today I'm about to show you a type of wealth most people overlook, a treasure you can literally hold in your hand. 1 coin. 1 Kennedy half dollar from 1996 with the D mint mark. It looks ordinary. It feels ordinary. But the truth is, this coin can quietly hold immense value, and collectors across the world are hunting for it. If you think half dollars are just pocket change, think again, because what you ignore today could be worth thousands tomorrow. The 1996 D. Kennedy half dollar doesn't demand attention. It wasn't struck in silver. It wasn't celebrated for rarity when it was minted. Millions were made, but most were put straight into storage, mint sets, or bags and left untouched for decades. By the mid-90s, half dollars were fading from circulation. Stores rarely accepted them, banks stopped ordering them in large numbers, and people simply didn't carry them anymore. That combination of limited use and mass production created the perfect storm for modern rarity, but the magic of this coin isn't just in its scarcity, it's in the mistakes, the unique quirks that turn an everyday coin into a prized collector's item. Some 1996 D. Kennedy half dollars show double dies, especially in the word Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date. These small but noticeable flaws make the coin instantly collectible. Others were struck off-center, shifting Kennedy's face slightly and creating a visually striking piece of numismatic history. Die cracks can appear as raised lines across the surface, while die chips leave small lumps of metal in unexpected areas. Even subtle planchet and strike variations make certain coins stand out from the rest. These aren't damages caused by circulation, they are errors made during the minting process, and every single error creates a unique story that collectors are eager to own. Condition is everything with this coin. Most examples are dull, scratched, or show flattened details from years of handling. But a coin with sharp details, clean fields, full luster, and minimal marks instantly stands out. Pair that with a clear mint error, and the coin moves into a completely different league of value. That's why collectors examine each half dollar carefully under light, sometimes with magnification, because one overlooked detail can completely change the coin's market value. The 1996 D. Kennedy half dollar proves that rarity doesn't only come from silver, gold, or age. It comes from survival, scarcity, and minting mistakes. That quiet, hidden potential is what makes coin collecting addictive. Serious collectors spend hours searching rolls, old bank bags, and inherited collections, hoping to spot the coin that everyone else ignored. Holding a high-grade 1996 D. Kennedy half dollar with a unique error is like holding a piece of history, an untouched story of the minting process, waiting for someone with knowledge to appreciate its value. Before you toss another half dollar aside, stop. Look closely at the date. Examine the D mint mark. Study the details in the lettering, the portrait, and the edges. That seemingly ordinary coin could easily be one of the rare finds collectors dream about. One small mint error can turn a coin worth a few cents into one worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In today's real market, a circulated 1996 D. Kennedy half dollar is usually worth only its face value. A high-grade uncirculated coin can fetch several tens of dollars. Error coins, depending on the rarity and severity of the minting mistake, have sold at auction for several hundreds of dollars. The most exceptional error coins, including those with double dies, off-center strikes, or dramatic die cracks, have sold for thousands of dollars, making this coin a serious target for collectors and investors alike. If this video changed the way you look at coins, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More rare coins, hidden treasures, and collector secrets are coming soon, and you never know what valuable piece might already be sitting in your own collection, waiting to be discovered. Don't ignore the small things, the next fortune might already be in your drawer. Coin 7. Forget the biggest houses, the fastest cars, the designer watches, and every flashy thing people use to show off wealth, because today I'm going to introduce you to a kind of treasure that doesn't need a driveway, a vault, or a display case. One coin. One Kennedy half dollar from 1998 with the P mint mark. At first glance, it looks ordinary, almost forgettable. But this coin has a secret power. What seems like pocket change today could quietly be worth hundreds or even thousands tomorrow. From now on, your perspective on value, rarity, and wealth is about to change forever. The 1998 P. Kennedy half dollar was minted in a period when these coins were already fading from everyday circulation. By the late 90s, half dollars were no longer common in daily transactions. Stores refused them. Banks stopped distributing them regularly. Most Americans never carried them, and the coins produced by the mint largely ended up in bags, rolls, or collector sets, untouched for decades. That combination of low circulation and continued production created a quiet scarcity, an opportunity for collectors who know what to look for. While millions of these coins exist, the real value lies in the condition, rarity, and the subtle mint errors that can transform an ordinary coin into a treasure. What makes the 1998 P. Kennedy half dollar fascinating is the potential for mint errors. Collectors know that some of these coins show double dies in the lettering of Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date. Others were struck off-center, shifting Kennedy's portrait in a way that immediately draws the eye. There are die cracks, small raised lines across the surface caused by imperfections in the minting dies, and die chips, tiny lumps of extra metal where they shouldn't exist. Even subtle planchet and strike irregularities can create unique coins that collectors treasure. These errors are not damage from circulation, they are the mint's mistakes, frozen in metal for decades, each telling its own story. Condition is what separates an ordinary coin from an extraordinary one. Most 1998 P. Kennedy half dollars are dull, worn, and flattened from decades of handling. But a coin with sharp details, clean surfaces, bright original luster, and minimal marks instantly stands out. When that condition is combined with a visible mint error, the coin enters a completely different tier of collectability. This is why serious collectors examine every coin under proper light and often with magnification, because the smallest overlooked detail can completely change a coin's market value. A slight doubling of the letters, a faint die crack, or a minor off-center strike can mean the difference between face value and a coin worth thousands. This coin teaches a vital lesson: rarity and value don't always come from precious metals or centuries-old history. Sometimes, they come from survival, scarcity, and mistakes that slipped past the mint unnoticed. That quiet potential is exactly why collectors obsessively search through rolls, banked bags, and inherited collections. Finding one of these coins in high-grade condition, especially with a visible error, is like discovering a hidden chapter of history. It's a story of the mint, a story of production, a story of chance, and holding one is a reminder that extraordinary things can be hiding in plain sight. Even the seemingly mundane coins hold secrets. The 1998 P. Kennedy half dollar might appear ordinary at first, but it hides potential treasure in plain sight. Whether it's a subtle double die, an off-center strike, a die crack, or exceptional preservation, this coin can turn a simple collection into a serious investment. Collectors know that patience and attention to detail can pay off tremendously. Every letter, every line, every raised ridge can change the value dramatically, and that's what makes this coin so exciting. Before you ever dismiss a $50 again, pause. Look at the date. Examine the P mint mark. Turn it in the light. Study every detail of the lettering and Kennedy's portrait. Because what seems ordinary today could be one of the rare coins collectors are chasing tomorrow. The thrill of discovering a high-grade error is addictive. Once you spot a coin like this, you understand why collectors spend hours examining every roll and inherited coin collection. It's the thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of knowledge, and the quiet excitement of owning something unique that drives the coin world. In today's real market, a circulated 1998 P. Kennedy $50 is usually worth its face value. A high-grade uncirculated example can fetch several tens of dollars. Era coins, depending on severity and visibility, have sold at auction for several hundreds of dollars. The rarest, high-grade error examples, including double dies, off-center strikes, and dramatic die cracks, have sold for thousands of dollars, making this coin an incredibly attractive piece for collectors and investors alike. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden world of coins, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More rare coins, hidden values, and collector secrets are coming soon, and you never know which coin in your own collection could already be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Don't overlook the small things. The next fortune might already be sitting in your drawer, in a coin roll, or even in your pocket. The 1998 P. Kennedy $50 is proof that wealth can sometimes be small, silent, and waiting patiently for someone with eyes to see its value.